welcome to Chit Chatterday. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I have lots to chat about. I want to talk about the last few weeks' events, kind of catch you up to what we've been doing. And I have a couple new things that we're going to try, some samples that I got from my Sephora order. And yeah, so let's jump into this. How are you guys doing? We are doing well. Our pool finally opened, so we have gone to the pool 4 times this week alone. I was thinking about going today, but quite frankly, after several days in a row of going to the pool, I'm tired. My kids are tired, and we just kind of need a chill day. So I was planning on having a chill morning. Let's just jump into this. I was planning on having a chill morning, but some furniture that I ordered back in April has not shown up yet. I've had zero communication, them telling me where it's at, and so I have spent my entire morning. This is no exaggeration. It is 12:15 right now. I've been calling since 8 o'clock this morning and calling and being on hold for 20 minutes and then having it hang up and calling back, being on hold for 20 minutes. I've done that literally all morning because I have not been able to get a hold of a person. No person. And so it's kind of like when you buy furniture, you'd like to kind of see it, you know, especially when they've already charged you for it. So anyways, that's been my morning. So here is one of the newer things I want to try. I've tried nothing by this brand, Lawless, and this is just one of those samples that you get in the mail in your Sephora order. And this is the Woke Up Like This Flawless Finish Foundation. It's supposed to be medium to full buildable coverage, radiant satin finish, and silicone free. And it says it's a clean foundation. Now, the shades that are on this card, I don't know if they're going to work. We have Kalahari, Arizona, and Heat. Definitely Heat is not going to work for me. I'm hoping a mixture of these two might be the answer. That color, it's pretty yellow undertoned, but that might actually work. So it says it's medium to buildable coverage. And I'd say that blends out to about medium. Definitely not full. Okay, that's not really wowing me, honestly. So let's do the other side here. I'm just gonna do this, which is probably not the proper technique. I've really decided that playing around with and trying different foundations has always been really fun because it's fun to figure out what foundation is going to be like your holy grail. But along this journey, I've really decided that what you like one moment or one season, you may not even like at all. Or your skin will change, become more oily or more dry, and then you can't even love what you used to once love. I'd say that color actually looks okay. I don't even remember what it was called. Kalahari? Yeah. I'd say that color actually works pretty well right now. And it is, like, my face still looks kind of radiant. It said it was supposed to be a radiant satin finish. I would not say that one layer of this is full coverage, but this is a good medium coverage, and this is about where I'd like to sit, especially on like a hot day. I don't really like to have a lot of makeup on my face, so this is actually pretty good. I like this. I wouldn't say this is like going out evening, full coverage, what do they say, snatched look, but I think it's very approachable. It's like an approachable finish and coverage level. Okay, so here is the new concealer I decided upon. This was prompted by my friend Jelena. I asked her, what is your favorite concealer right now? And she said the Pat McGrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer. Looks like this. I originally ordered shade L5 and it was too light. Then it was kind of a weird experience going into the store right now with the whole COVID thing. Like I had to wait in line and the hand sanitizer thing, and they can't swatch anything. So I was like, she's like, well, I can swatch it on this piece of paper. I'm like, well, that's cool, but my skin isn't the color of paper, so it's still kind of hard to tell. But after we just kind of like swatched 4 different shades, I ended up just going up to L6. I'm not sure. I haven't tried this yet, but she said it does oxidize a bit. So the L5, I tried it on my skin, and it was really light. Just too light for my preference. I would say at this point in time, yeah, I think this can be a better color. I prefer not so light of an under eye. I prefer something that's like my skin tone, but maybe a shade lighter. So let's put this on. I do know from when I tried this that it's like really full coverage. So I might have even put a bit much again. The texture a little bit reminds me of the NARS. Oh, what's it called? You know, NARS Custard, whatever that concealer is called. Anyways, that one, you know, when you touch it, it's kind of like this dry feeling. It's sort of like that, maybe like a slight powdery, but it's serumy at the same time. Like this is offering really great coverage. Okay, so if I were to compare this to the other concealer that I had bought and tried, the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, the hydrating one, I liked it. But I thought the shade I bought was wrong. But I also thought it might have been a little too thick. It was hydrating, but maybe too hydrating to the point where if you didn't really sheer it out, you had some creasing going on. And I do wear, did I put my eye cream on today? I always put eye cream on, right? But I felt like it was just still a little bit too heavy and creasing would occur, which is why I'm blending this out with my fingers right now, because when I tried this in the wrong shade, I felt like the best way to really smush it into my skin was with the warmth of my fingers. I feel like I should be filming again today because I was eating breakfast and I dropped my eggs all over the keyboard of the computer. I probably shouldn't have even been sitting at the computer, but you know, I like to either watch something while I'm eating or browse the computer in the morning. It's just kind of my routine. So I dropped my breakfast all over the place. I just dropped this compact in my coffee. You know, so I'm not even trying to like do things quickly. In fact, I find that when I'm filming, I tend to speed up. Why is this all sticky? Gross. I tend to do things even faster just because when you're literally looking at a countdown on your camera here, it kind of like gives you this anxiety that I don't normally have. And then you add in the fact that you know you're being recorded and it's just like this added pressure. I don't know. I guess it's probably all in my head. So I'm going to set my under eyes here, which, you know what? I think you definitely might need to, for me anyways, because I'm noticing a little bit of creasing under there. I honestly probably put on too much concealer, and that's probably the problem, but I'm going to set this with the Charlotte Tilbury powder. Really love this powder. Now, I know this is a matte, what did it say, a satin radiant finish, though. I'm still going to set my known areas where I get greasy, like my stash. Like chin. I don't know what's going on with my chin, but absolutely no makeup wants to stick to it. And then T-zone. A product I've been loving lately is this NARS Olympia. Now, I talked about this product in my last Get Ready With Me that I posted, and when I went to link it, I did not see it on Sephora's website, but they have it on their own website. I've also noticed sometimes certain products you might not find on Sephora, but if you go to the actual products website, it's more than likely there, especially things that are kind of being phased out or seasonal. Like, I'll go to their actual website. So what I'm going to do is so what this is it's a contouring blush. So it adds contour because of the undertone on it's not as warm as a bronzer would be. But I really like the shadows it creates, and I really love the color of this particular product for me. It's just a really nice base product before bronzer, and it adds contour without it being gray. So I think I've decluttered it, but the Kevyn Aucoin contour powder, and even when contour powders were kind of the thing a few years back, I've decluttered all of those palettes and things such as that because I really didn't use them. As I've gotten more comfortable and I know that the layout, the mapping of my bone structure and my face, I don't personally need a lot of contouring because I have very sharp cheekbones, and I would find that sometimes when I do that, it just didn't look the best. So I like this product because it adds a little color. As you can see, it's got a slight rose undertone, just a little bit of pink in it, which really works well for me. And it also comes with this matte powder, which I sometimes use to set my under eyes or just to, I don't know, throw a little powder maybe here. If you didn't want to put actual like loose powder all over your face, you just want pinpoint a little bit of powder before you put on a powder highlighter or something. Okay, so my parents have come and gone, and we had a lovely week. We did quite a lot of road tripping, really. We drove up to Waco to visit the Magnolia. It was really, I thought it was going to be just the Magnolia Market, where it was just like the shop. But they actually have a coffee shop, they have a bakery, and now they have a restaurant out on what would be the interstate. And we didn't go to the restaurant because of COVID and just like a whole lot of factors. I looked at the menu and it was like when we were there, it was going to be lunch. And they were closing by the time we got there. I think they're only open till like 3, which I thought was a little odd, but maybe they just are only open for lunch. I don't know. I guess I didn't look to see if they do dinner. But anyway, so we drove up there and got to take all of that in. And I got a few things, which I will share in my June favorites. I was going to film that today, but because of spending my entire morning on hold and not getting anyone, I honestly feel a little frazzled and a little frustrated, so I'm trying not to translate that here. It is life though, right? So anyways, I was going to film that today, but I just decided to, let's just put makeup on. Let's just talk and we'll deal with all the things I'm loving later, right? So I'm going to go in with the Hourglass powders. I've just been really falling back in love with products I've had for years. So I love to use the middle one, which is the Luminous. No, this one's incandescent, but I have Luminous as well. And these make beautiful, subtle highlighters, which is what I prefer. Because honestly, my skin, like depending on the finish of your foundation, you might already have a glowy finish, so you really don't need to add a super, super metallic highlighter. And I sometimes feel like it looks a bit much. So I like something that's just gives a healthy skin glow. So anyways, we went up there. We ended up going out to eat at George's, which is like it reminded me of what would be cafes back where I grew up in Wisconsin. It just like the inside of it just reminded me of like going out to eat at a bar or at a cafe or something like that. So the food was great. What did I even order? Some sort of taco, something. I don't know, it was delicious. Okay, and then I'm going to take this big old, oh, it's dirty. Let me wash this off. I've learned my lesson the hard way there. I'm going to take this Radiant color here. What is it called? Radiant Light. This is a little bit of a bronzy. I'm just going to kind of go over the top of where I bronzed. So we went to the Magnolia Market and we went to eat. And we road tripped up there just for a day trip. And so it was a 3-hour drive up and then a 3-hour drive back. So where San Antonio is located is actually pretty good as far as getting to see some of the major cities. Now Dallas would be further from Waco. I know Houston's like 3 hours. And then we also went down to Corpus Christi, which was 3 hours to where we were going. We went to the beach for the day. And I know it sounds like it's kind of a far drive, but it's not that bad, especially when the majority of it, if not all of it, is interstate. And so, hold on, I gotta break up my children. I've had this forever, but I really love this blush. This is the Kat Von D Pore Vita Everlasting Face Shaper Blush. Oh my gosh, I should not put this on. It says 12 months. I bought this in probably 2013, but well, don't tell anyone. I'm gonna put it on because it's beautiful. So anyways, we went to the beach and that was great. Oh, that's what I was saying. It doesn't feel like that far of a drive, and the kids did really well. And I guess you just have to, feed everybody. If you feed people and you have snacks, road tripping is not that bad. It was so much fun. The kids loved it. It was great weather. And the nice thing about the beach is that, you usually have a constant breeze just to kind of help with the heat. Oh, that's a lot. Oh, gosh. I just squirted out enough eye primer for like 16 eyes. So let me just... You really don't want to do too much eye primer either, because then your eyes can get kind of messed up, like your shadow. So while my parents were here, we also celebrated my son's 8th birthday. And this year he requested s'mores ice cream with a s'mores cake, and he wanted me to make it. And in the past, I don't really even know why I made a few of their birthday cakes, but I kind of got in the habit of just buying it just for the sake of ease. And we've done like friend birthday parties or just like family birthday parties. And I mean, when you have a house full, you don't always want to be baking, right? Or you're going to have a bunch of people over, you're already planning food and drinks and all that, decorating. It just can be a lot, so I think that's probably why I opted not to. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this easy. I'm going to take the bronzer and use that as my crease shade today. So anyways, I made him a s'mores cake. It was bomb. And then I also made, because now I have an ice cream maker, we made s'mores ice cream. So I will leave the recipes that I used below because they worked. They were great. And I don't know about you, but I'm always looking for recommendations of recipes that are well written. You know, the ones where you actually follow it exactly word for word and it turns out. Because I'll tell you, so many times I make recipes off of blogs, Pinterest, the internet, and they're a little faulty. And, you know, sometimes that happens because everyone's oven temperatures are different. Where you live, elevation kind of can affect, especially with baking. But anyways, these all turned out for me, and I thought they were really great. For those of you who live in Texas, is there any other things that you would recommend we do? Now, we live in San Antonio, and we've taken in, I would say, pretty much all of the tourist type things. We have a state park pass now, so we've been kind of exploring the parks. But we've lived here about 3.5 years, and I feel like we've kind of done all the things that you would do if you were to come and visit here. But maybe leave below any recommendations you have if you live here or have visited, things you really enjoyed, things that are worthwhile. Because if you were to ask me, like, some things that you, like, my recommendations, I would probably say there's a few touristy things I wouldn't do again. I just probably plain old wouldn't do. But you know, we all have our own preferences of what we enjoy doing. But I don't know, we haven't traveled to Houston. We've driven through Houston a few times. I've visited there once. And so that's like one city that we haven't really taken anything in. So maybe some things to do there. I know my husband and I were throwing around the idea of like, well, we should probably take in a few road trips while we still live here and just kind of explore the state a little more. So leave any recommendations below of some things you guys really enjoy doing with kids. They are now 8 and 9, so family friendly. So I pulled this palette out today. This is the Natasha Denona number 12. You know, when I went to link this, does she not make these anymore? I mean, mine's only a few years old. I remember I got it around Christmas time. I'm going to take this like taupey shade here. I don't know. I have zero idea I have no plans, no idea what I'm doing here today. I just wanted to sit down and chat. So we started watching Space Force on Netflix with Steve Carell and, what's his face? John Malkovich. And then I think one of the funniest characters on there, he's a comedian. I can't think of his name. He's got dark hair. He looks like he might be tall. Anyways, it's a funny show. You gotta give it a few episodes because the first few episodes, I'm like, But you know what? Kind of like, let me turn this up a little bit. Kind of like with any show, I feel like you have to give it some time. Give it some time for the plot to get going, for the characters to evolve. You know, it takes time for a new show to really get off its feet. And I feel like you need to at least give half a season before you make your call on whether or not you're going to continue to watch it, kind of thing. Anyways, we've been enjoying it. In the last few episodes, we're about, I think we're on episode 9 or 10 now. So we're pretty deep in the first season. It was really funny. Like, some really funny stuff. Another show that we really love, and is this the 3rd season, I think? It's called Somebody Feed Phil. We discovered this show on Netflix, or maybe it was just when the first season came out. We were in Mississippi, so that would have been 2016. So yeah, maybe this would be the 3rd season. Man, he's funny. So he is, I think, was a producer and possibly a writer of Everybody Loves Raymond. Oh my gosh, he has so much expression in his face. Like, you know at all times how he is feeling. Like, he's just very expressionistic. He's got very big eyes, and he's just really funny. So it's a great show. He just goes around, and this season he's going to different countries. And of course, it's all about food, and we're super into food and culinary shows, and I just love food. Like, I sit here and I put makeup on, but I really could talk to you all day about food. I just like to eat. I mean, that's a pleasure in life, right? Like, I'm constantly looking forward to my next meal. Like, what are we having? Speaking of, what am I doing tonight? Oh, we're doing leftovers. I made a creamy lemon pasta with pancetta and peas. This is a Pioneer Woman recipe. Bomb. It is absolutely divine. What are we doing here now? It is so good. Let's take a little of this bright purple. It is so good. Excellent pasta. So I have leftovers, and I am going to be heating that up tonight. When I'll serve it along probably with a salad tonight, and maybe some pretzel bread. Gosh, what is the brand of that pretzel bread? I got it at the frozen section at H-E-B, but I'm sure you have pretzel bread at your grocery store. I mean, the obvious pairing with pretzel bread would be some sort of delicious cheese soup or any sort of creamy soup. But by golly, it's just as amazing with pasta. Right? I am not liking this. I really don't like myself in a really dark lid. I don't know. I think it's my eye shape. It just makes me feel like my eyes just got punched. Like I got punched in the eye. Like it's just, I don't know. So what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to try to lighten that and put gold over the top. This has turned into an experimental video. Hold on. I love all over dark smoky eyes on other people, but I just don't like it on myself. I should just stick to what works for me, right? But then I think, well, then why do you have all these colored eyeshadows? Why do you have all these other things if you're not going to use them? So then I'm like, okay, Chelsea, fine, we'll just try it. Then I'm like, you know what, we should try it while filming. Yeah, so then other people can make comments about how awful your makeup looks. We should do it that way. And you know, I listen to other YouTubers say, yeah, I filmed a bunch of videos this week, but I didn't like them, so I didn't upload them. I'm like, I understand what you're saying, but I want to see what your idea of bad is, because I'm pretty sure it's not as bad as my idea of a bad makeup look. I hear meowing. And I asked, why is the cat meowing? And my son says, oh, I was practicing my meowing. I have to close my door when I film here. And so then every once in a while I have to, you know, like yell to the kids, are you still alive? Are you doing okay? Oh, you just never know, right? I'm going to take this color called Triple Impact from MAC. What you doing? Chloe.
I was thinking if we could do...
Alright, we're going to do a little bit of black eyeliner. I'm trying to decide. I think I'm going to take this Chanel cream eyeliner. You know, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, why does something look like not right? I haven't put my eyebrows on yet. That's precisely what is off. But you know, since using that lash, or no, it's the brow serum. I use the lash serum too, but since using the brow serum from New Brow, you know, it really has helped lengthen and thicken up my natural brows. If you go back a few years, I would say, yeah, I've been using that stuff for a year now. So a few years, you can see that my natural brows are pretty thin and sparse. I quit probably, let's see, I was still getting them waxed when I lived in Colorado, but not towards the end. Anyways, I quit getting them waxed because they would do them way too thin. I mean, I'd go to the Benefit Brow Bar. They would do a good job, but they were just a little bit too thin. So that when I didn't have makeup on, it was just like two little thin lines. And I didn't like that look naturally because most of the time I'm not wearing a full face of makeup. So I want my brows to look full. I mean, that's what gives youth. So I just kind of fill in. I don't go crazy like I used to. I just kind of like to fill them in. So in person they look good. Okay, so I'm not hating the eyes as much as I initially was. I'm just not used to seeing so much darkness across my lids. Maybe it looks okay. Let me just kind of blend this out here. I don't know. I was thinking this might be a bit bold, but whatever. Fashion Boost Prolongwear lip color from MAC. The sun is bringing out all kinds of pigment in my skin already, and it looks like I have a dirty upper lip, but it's a stinking brown spot. I'm really not loving that. Like, it's not even cute. So this is the color. This is a color by Givenchy called 315. Okay, so I put some false lashes on, and I'm actually kind of liking the way that this turned out. It's just I'm not used to like all this dark color all over my lid, but I actually think it looks nice. And the foundation has kind of grown on me. I feel like as it sat on my face and I mixed in the bronzers and the blushes and the contour, it actually looks a little bit more flawless and really, really pretty. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I felt like maybe this wasn't the most exciting topics that I've talked about. Maybe it was a little bit boring. Talking about being on hold for forever. 6 separate times I was on hold for 20 minutes and never reached a person. Okay, I'm done griping, but that's a little bit much. So I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll chat again soon. Bye.